Ouija 2 Origin of Evil is directed by Mike Flanagan, who also directed Hush and Oculus, two extremely underrated films in my opinion. But since the last Ouija film was a tremendous success, box office wise. I say that because, in my opinion, it's one of the worst horror films of this decade. But that doesn't matter because it made a crap ton of money, so of course we're gonna get a sequel. Well, more of a prequel. This movie takes place in the 1960s where a widowed mother and her two daughters add a Ouija board to spice up their scam that fools people into believing that they can talk to their loved ones who have passed away to give them closure. But when they add this Ouija board to their act, their youngest daughter is possessed by evil spirits within the home, yada yada yada, she's possessed, preacher comes over, you know, you get the rest. You've seen a horror movie. As I said, I hated the first movie. It's rare that a movie comes along that I just flat out hate. Because it's just one of those movies that immediately when it was over, I just pulled it from my mind and just threw it away because I didn't want to have that memory space in my brain taken up by that film. So I went into this movie like, alright, bring it on, let's see what you got, because I thought I was going to have to tear this movie apart. But it's actually not that bad. Ouija 2 Origin of Evil is leaps and bounds better than the first film. Thankfully for it, it's not that hard to do that. But nonetheless, it is better. What makes this movie better just from square one is the addition of Mike Flanagan. I feel bad for Mike Flanagan because Hasbro and Blumhouse just handed him the steaming pile of dog crap that was the last movie and like, can you fix this? James Wan already said no. Can you see what you can do? And what this movie actually succeeds in doing just from the beginning of this film is it actually has effort put into it. Just little nuances. For example, they use the retro Universal logo in the beginning of the film. They also, you know how like back in the day when they had to change the reels, actually change them in the projector so the movie can continue, but when they did, there was a little tiny jump. This movie has that little tiny jump. And thankfully there was no porn interspliced into the scenes. Fight Club reference, yes. Also, there's the little blips in the corner, which Fight Club refers to as
cigarette burns.
Performance-wise, I thought everyone was serviceable. No one in this movie did anything spectacular, but I thought that they did well. And I think that's the best way to describe this movie. Not spectacular, but it was fine. This being a horror movie, the most integral part of this movie, and what makes it good, hopefully, is the horror aspect and what they did to try to scare you. I don't really feel like any of the scares were really groundbreaking. I feel like I'd seen a majority of them before, but thankfully there is an extremely minimal amount of jump scares, so thank God. I thought this movie started really strong and ended really poorly narrative-wise. And it's bizarre because you get all the best scares at the end of the film because it's when everything hits the fan and when everything just goes crazy, so that's like the most entertaining part of this movie scare-wise. But it's actually at the end of the film where it kind of falls apart. They do this huge exposition dump on you and they're like, alright, you caught up? No? Okay, that's not important. Just be scared. All in all, this movie was better than I had expected it to be, and was far better than its predecessor, which, granted, it isn't hard. But because of its obvious effort and its serviceable performances and scares, it elevates this film to being a perfectly fine B horror movie that is just right for Halloween time. Thank you guys for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, click on the link down below, subscribe to my channel, see more movie reviews and movie-related things, and thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.